Phishing and fake ICOs. One of the tricks that scammers use with great success is called phishing, which means that they create fake ICO websites and campaigns to trick reckless investors to send their funds to the scammers' wallets. If investors are not careful, they can easily fall for these kinds of schemes. One of the most popular projects that scammers took advantage of was the ambitious Telegram ICO. There were many fake Telegram ICO websites and ads circulating when it was being announced. Make sure you don't send your funds to a fake address by always checking if the website or advertising for an ICO comes from the real company that's launching the ICO. The first telltale sign of a fake website is the URL. Furthermore, legitimate ICOs will never ask you to give money through email or social media, and all contributions should go via their token order form, which is normally posted on their genuine ICO website. It is also important to be aware of ICOs that have been wholly created as scams. There have been many cases where someone writes a fancy white paper, launches an ICO, gathers all of the money that has been raised, and then runs off with it, leaving investors with empty hands and a really unpleasant experience. To ensure that you won't lose your money to a scammer, we've put together some key points to look for prior to taking part in an ICO or STO. What to look for before investing in an ICO. The team. Is the information about the team public and transparent, or is the team anonymous? While one of the purposes for blockchain technology is to eliminate the need for trust and enable a certain level of anonymity, launching an ICO is not the place for that. Information about the team should be readily available, and they should not be hiding information about themselves. Do extra research on the internet and find out as much as you can about the people involved. And don't depend on just looking at LinkedIn. Who are in the team? One of the most important things with any project is the team that is responsible for executing the plan. The solution isn't going to create itself, and there has to be a capable team behind the effort to make it happen. What are their previous experiences and accomplishments? The solution isn't going to create itself, and there has to be a capable team behind the ICO to make it successful. All of the team members should be well-versed in their roles that they have been assigned. If the team only consists of incompetent people with no experience, then the company will have a rather short lifespan. You should learn about the team members and see if any of them have done any successful projects in the past. Why and how are they capable of realizing their goals? This ties in with the last point. If the team has former experience in this field, they are more likely to succeed and not make stupid mistakes. The team should also cover all of the aspects of running a business. You can't have a successful project if the team consists of only programmers or marketers, while no one is looking after finances. Contact the team directly. It is one thing to read volumes of information on a website, but it is another thing to hear it from the source directly. You can get all of the answers to your questions about their ICO project from the team by contacting them via email or social media, or even their LinkedIn profile, for instance. Business plan, white paper, and roadmap. Does their white paper explain everything about their project? The white paper is there to provide all of the answers to questions potential investors and supporters might have. There should be detailed descriptions about how their product or service is filling a gap in the marketplace, how they are going to create the solution, and an in-depth explanation of the product, an analysis of the marketplace and potential customers, roadmap, and more. The white paper should tell you everything. Have they clearly described the need for their product and how they will develop their product? The product should solve real-world issues and address a gap in the marketplace. There has to be a need for the solution, as without demand, there will be no customers, and without sales, there will be no future for the company. The team should have a solid action plan about how they will actually create and technically develop their product. It's great if they have a vision, but this vision will need to be executed, and without a concrete plan, it will be a huge mess, and the progress will be glacially slow. A large percentages of ICOs fail, and without a great plan, you can be sure that any ICO will fall into this category. Is there anything like this ICO already out there? If the ICO in question is just a copy of an already existing concept, then its chances of succeeding are diminished, unless the original concept was badly executed or there are major improvements and USPs, or unique selling points, planned by the newer ICO project. Do they have a ready prototype, or MVP, or a minimum viable product? If the company already has some sort of prototype or MVP, it indicates that the team is actually capable of creating the product they are raising funds for. Products in alpha or beta testing mean that they are involving participants in gathering feedback about their product and can involve potential customers in the process of developing their product. This ensures that the solution they are creating is the one customers want and are willing to buy. What is their revenue model? Some ICOs' future revenue strategies rely solely on the money they will collect during their ICO campaign. This strategy is not sustainable, as once the money runs out, the company will most likely fail. This is sometimes indicated by unnecessarily large hard caps. If the business has a great product or service, then future revenue forecasts should not have to rely on ICO money for their financial security. Are there any gaps or problems with their ideas or business plan? If you notice any pain points or find information is missing, analyze it and contact the team. They may have forgotten to add this information to their white paper or marketing materials, or they may not have considered these points. Why are they doing an ICO? What is the reason for doing an ICO? Some companies launch an ICO because it is an easy way to quickly raise a large amount of money. And there is nothing wrong with this, but it is much better to invest in a company who has a plan to develop a new and more innovative product or transform their company to integrate use of the blockchain. Is there a solid use case for their own cryptocurrency, or is it just for fundraising? There should be a proper use case for any ICO creating their own token or coin. If they create a use for their cryptocurrency with regards to their project, for instance, allowing the token to act as a license fee or give priority access to the platform, then they have created what is known as a utility coin. If the only purpose for the coin is to sell them to investors in return for profits and dividends, or for other investment purposes, then the coin is classified as a security. If there is no real purpose for a coin or token, then the price of the coin will drop drastically on the exchanges after the ICO ends. Do they have the support of any angel investors or VCs? Another thing to look for is whether the project is already backed by angel investors or VCs. The current market encourages people to participate in ICOs for a quick profit while not taking into consideration the actual business case and viability of the project. VCs and angel investors rarely make snap decisions with investments, if ever, and they analyze everything about an ICO before committing. The presence of VCs and angel investors shows there is something special about the project in question. Have you done thorough research and your due diligence? There are a lot of people who invest in ICOs for the sole reason being that someone on the internet suggested it. There are hundreds of YouTube videos which suggest different ICOs and coins to invest in, but provide very little reasoning behind the suggestion. For some people, they invest in a particular coin or token because it sounds cool to say that you're involved in the world of crypto and blockchain. There are many white papers and roadmaps out there which have been copied directly from other ICOs, which shows that there is a lack of professionalism or validity surrounding the project. If you want to keep your money, you should analyze the project as we have instructed here, and after understanding it, decide whether it is something you want to invest in. Community. Are there people talking about the project and engaging in communities? If there are no conversations around the project, find out why there are none. Is it just that the project is not popular, or is there another reason? Remember, there is no direct correlation between the number of users in Telegram and social media and the success of an ICO, as it is very easy to buy a community these days. Is the team behind the project communicating with the community? And are they updating their community about their progress? Constant communication between the ICO and their supporters is important to show transparency and should include information about the progress of the ICO, solve supporters' problems, and respond positively to valuable feedback that the community contributes. Are the people in the community only praising the project? If the people who communicate on their channels only seem to promote the project and praise it no matter what, it could mean that these people are employed by the company. They may be bots, or you might actually have found an interesting ICO. And finally, are you ready to lose all of your investment? This might sound like a scary thought, but the reality is that nothing in this world is certain, and things are even less certain when dealing with crypto and blockchain, which is very volatile and still relatively new. There is always the possibility of losing it all, so you just need to invest with as much as you can afford to lose. Conclusion. It is easy to be attracted by the potential of a high ROI or return on investment, and you might even get lucky a couple of times, but jumping in haphazardly is not a sustainable strategy. Use your common sense, do your own due diligence, and after following these guidelines to investing in an ICO, your chances of losing your money to scammers or con men will drastically decrease.